I'm Jerry, and welcome to my podcast. The boys aren't here today, so I get my own section. Now I'm here to tell you to stay the f*** inside. Why are you all going to the park? The government in the UK's like, oh, we don't want to shoot all you people and get the military involved, but you all keep going out inside. It's ridiculous. You've even got this thing that you can sit, you can watch all day, every day. There's hours of podcasts to catch up on, and yet you're all just outside. It's I'm done. Anyway, my favorite films start with, of course, Paddington 2. It's great, and it's finally great to get some good appreciation for bears in cinema. Never mind Christopher Robin, which focuses on Ewan McGregor's character and not Pooh Bear. It's ridiculous. I'm fed up of it, and I want more justice. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go back to sleep because I'm not feeling great. I've got a bit of a cough. But I'll be better. Thank you for all the well wishes, and a big shout out to all of you guys that mentioned me in the comments. Bye!
So, we just had a look at the SD card, and it looks like Jerry's
Someone's had a rant.
He's had a wee go, so we put him in the naughty corner. He's facing away.
Not for what he said, though, just for using our equipment without asking, because he does have a point.
He does have a point,
Guys, stay at home.
Yeah, we're putting videos out daily,
yeah.
So you've got stuff to be in with. You can try get Zoom. Everyone's downloading Zoom now.
Zoom. We've tried
House Party, which is another one of those like group socialing apps. Basically, it turns into everyone just looking at each other while we eat.
Yeah, yeah. I do that plenty. Breakfast, not by myself anymore. Yeah. Lunch, not by myself anymore.
Yep. Dinner, sometimes you let me sit in the living room for, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm allowed out of this room.
Exactly.
Jerry kind of roams free. He's got his own little honey jar in the bathroom, which
he's like the alien in Alien, that he just like spawns in different places in the flat without like.
He's got his own ventilation.
Yeah,
system
exactly. Yeah, no idea how he gets there. No, but I do find it interesting how like everything is replacing Skype at the moment. Like, yes, no one Skypes anymore.
Is awful. But anyway, welcome to Airing It Out.
Yes.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jonas.
We already know Jerry.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about how we go about writing a script.
Exactly. We wanted to do this last
We did want to do this yesterday, but we ended up chatting about Tarantino for well over an hour, and we thought let's cut it there and actually take our time with stuff.
Yeah.
Today's a pajama day for both of us, not just me. So you know, take it easy. We played with our script a bit, so it's currently 5:30. So we figured we've been working on the script that you're working on.
Exactly.
And I peruse.
Yes, we have to say this is a script that I have to write for my screenwriting course for university, which is still on, even though we don't have any lectures or anything. I still have to hand this in by the beginning of April, and so I have written it, but you're helping me in the editing process.
No, I would be useless if it was like writing stuff from scratch.
Yes.
And that's definitely something to consider, like when you're looking at doing your own films and stuff. Like, even if you're not creative enough to put in air quotes. I don't know, I don't have the mind to be like, this is a story that I've made up with dialogue I've created. But it's another thing to look at dialogue that's written and going, okay, that doesn't quite line up.
Feel right.
It definitely, that whole thing, like in sports, it's like, oh, how can you get trained by someone that's not as good as you? And it's like, you don't have to be the best to be able to critique something. Or having people around that can.
Yeah. I do have to say that is, I think, for me also a huge thing. Like I feel like I'm so much better at editing a script. Like if the framework exists, it is so much easier to then be like, okay, this is where we can still work on things or like improve this and that. But like getting that first framework down, that first I don't know, the first two I guess drafts.
Couple drafts down.
That's just
I mean the first time we worked on this was this scene 2 months ago now.
Maybe.
And we're still tweaking it, just getting it
1.5 months
perfect,
surely.
Like sounding like it's humans talking and not just that. But getting it so it's got the right plot threads in it and it takes the characters where we need it to be. Because it's one thing, it's hard to make it sound like how people talk. Surprisingly, because you have to be very careful it doesn't get expositional and stuff. but not have too many superfluous lines that you could go, well, that line could just not be there, people don't say it, and still getting the characters where you want them to end up.
Yeah. No, and I think it is, I don't know, the whole thing with, like, making it sound natural, like, people would actually say that, is one thing, but obviously also have a story to tell, you know? That's why it's like, they have to say specific things, but how do you wrap that up into natural dialogue for it to still make sense?
Speaking of natural dialogue and having to say specific things, we have to say that you should like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon.
And do comment.
Yeah, and leave us a comment.
We love a good comment. Jerry loves a good comment.
He's the one that answers the comments on the Era Out account.
He's very active.
I answer on my own personal account, that's obviously me.
It does take him ages because his big paws, he has trouble typing.
Yeah, we have a special keyboard for him that's just macros. Yeah. They're giant buttons.
Yeah.
Not like human keyboards. But yeah, he tries, and he can't do touch screens obviously, so he can't do it when he's out and about, which is a shame. But he tries.
He tries.
Yeah. But no, it really does help us out, and we have got like a good group of people that watch every podcast now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So big shout out to you guys, and if this is the first one you tuned into, we hope you're
having fun.
Having fun, yeah. But yes, I think what we should do is run through the scene.
Maybe read it out first. Well, this is the first time that people are actually like getting to get a sneak peek. I'm nervous, but
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Fine. Do you want to do just this scene or the one before as well?
No, let's just do.
We're gonna do one scene, one sneak peek.
One sneak peek of I don't know how many, 10, 11 scenes.
11 scenes.
This is yeah.
Do you want to give
some context? Yeah. So this scene is quite early on in the script. Is I would say the inciting incident. So where the story really kicks off. Our main character Marie is at a point in life where she's kind of stuck. She feels unhappy, unsatisfied with the life she's living at university, studying a course that
not relatable at all.
No. I mean, I have no idea where I got the inspiration from. No, but she's
every student ever.
Every student ever. No, like not really enjoying what she's doing at university. Not sure if she wants to study at all. Yeah, but like her problem is that she doesn't know what to do instead. And so it's a matter of like, I don't want this, but I don't know what I want instead. So like trying to break free from all of that is an issue. And that's kind of all I want to say about that.
Yeah.
I think the scene will tell you a bit more specifics. Do you want to be...
I'll be Marie.
You want to be Marie?
I want to be Marie.
Okay. There's only one... No,
maybe
two other characters. I'm going to be Kevin. And I'll be reading out the stage directions. If you can... I don't know if they're called that in a film script. Screenplay.
I don't know. Well,
I'll just call them stage directions or my directorial notes.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Take us away.
All right. So it's scene 3. We're inside kitchen. It's at night. At the flat party, Marie and Kira, her best friend, have gone to. Marie finds herself in the kitchen filling up her glass with tap water. Next to the sink is Kevin, who notices the peculiarity. Did I actually write that? And is immediately intrigued. Kevin says, "Water, huh?"
You're not going to say looking up?
No, looking up.
It says looking up in the script.
Looking up, yes.
Beer, huh?
Kevin laughs and extends his hand for a handshake. I'm Kevin. Marie accepts the handshake.
That's how you get coronavirus.
So we could do elbows. Yeah. That'd be actually a cool thing, yeah.
Marie, so how do you know...
Oh, we study theatre together. You?
Oh, I don't actually. I do history and English lit.
Ah, alright. You like the course?
Not really feeling it right now.
Well, do you know what you want to do after uni at least?
I don't know. What do you want to do? With theatre. On the next page.
Fair. Pause. I actually want to get into acting.
Good luck. I reckon you might make it as an extra.
Well, at least I won't end up a teacher in some shitty high school.
At least I'm not chasing some stupid dream.
Kevin takes a sip of his drink. This is so real, actually.
Out of his Vicky the Viking mug.
Mm. What are you chasing then?
Dick? I don't fucking know.
Laughs. But seriously, what are you interested in? Marie stops to think for a second, but can't come up with anything. This realization triggers confusion and worry.
I don't know. I like music and dogs, I guess.
Right.
What?
It's a little white.
I'm not basic, though.
He gives her the "you kinda are" look.
Okay, right now, I'm honestly just interested in drinking until you're cute enough to even though that's unlikely.
Right. Marie grabs a random bottle of wine, blows him a middle finger kiss, and leaves. A random drunk girl sneaks up on Kevin.
Hey there, you! Arm touch.
Sorry, I need to pee. He leaves.
The end.
Boom, scene.
As you can tell, professional actor.
Wow. This is definitely a very, very good first step to writing something. Read it out loud.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how you know if something flows or not.
Obviously, it flows with all the brackets we chucked in it.
Oh yeah, all the brackets make. I forgot some of them. We got so into it that
it became so real.
Yeah. Actually, like some sentences like, "Oh, I want to become an actor. I'm studying theater." That kind of stuff. That is very me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of conversations we have.
Yeah.
So in terms of like where the conversations come from, the amount of times you get asked when you're at uni,
Mm.
"Oh, what are you gonna do with your degree then?" is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got paid $1 for it, you wouldn't have to ever work again every time you got asked.
Definitely. Or like, what do you want to do after you finished studying? Like.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
And it's that kind of like, well, if you're in that kind of limbo, if not sure,
Yeah.
and you've got a bit of a sarky attitude, this is definitely like how it could go.
Yeah. No, and that's also definitely the kind of approach that we took while writing the dialogue. I mean, it's anyways, when starting a script, if we want to go back a step,
The very beginning.
when
It's
starting
a good place to start.
Yeah, no, but when writing a script, often you have an idea for like one scene or like a general idea of what you want to happen in the script, and then you just have to somewhat flesh it out. And so with this scene, I knew that as like the inciting incident, she would have to have some kind of conversation where it comes out that she doesn't like what she's doing, and that she has this moment of realization of like, oh, I actually have no idea what I'm interested in, what I want to do with my life. And so those are like the pieces of dialogue that we definitely wanted to have, and that's how we went about structuring all the other lines. Kind of how do we get from that one line to the next one, what has to happen before in order for that dialogue to pick up, and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there was definitely, so actually like we did this like this afternoon in terms of if one person does something, I think in terms of this kind of work, you need to be very open to criticism.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And not be too kind of protective of it. And I think that applies as well to later stages, and like as a director, and when we had our film that we made last year.
Yeah.
And if the actors think, no, that's not something I would say, or that doesn't quite feel right for the scene, do you mind if I go off and do something with it? Everyone that we spoke to was like, I'd much rather be able to go off and not have someone that's super protective of their script and be like, these words are written gospel and they need to be said exactly as they are. And that also applies if you're doing Shakespeare adaptations.
Yeah.
But for movies, if someone says it doesn't feel right, there's maybe something wrong with it, and that doesn't necessarily mean whatever they are going to come out with is right, but a conversation needs to be had. So that's, we had a chat. So for this scene, we've got Marie not drinking.
Yes, and so she starts off with water.
Starts with water, and that's the start of the conversation.
Yeah.
And it ends with her grabbing a bottle of wine. But the problem like that I spotted was thinking like, okay, but if she's described beforehand, like before this scene, is she's not drinking at all, and then for her to be called like basic white, and it's like, right, fine, bottle of wine, let's go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite feel like enough of a trigger for someone that's like completely teetotal.
Yeah, no, so you're correct me if I'm wrong, but your thoughts on it were like
How
that.
diplomatic.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm mistaken.
No, but like we definitely we have
yeah,
to, like,
you
we
just
had a
explain
back
your
and forth.
points and then find that perfect.
That it would be, first of all, kind of weak. Like, it would be a weak character to be like, I'm setting out, going to a party, not drinking, and then someone just says like, oh, you're basic, and then to break that immediately would be like, oh, she's like,
very weak-willed for a main character.
easily walked over, like,
manipulated, just kind of doing whatever is right there in front of her, which is not quite the route we want to take. Like, there's a difference between someone that's not sure what they want to do and someone that'll do something for the sake of it, and just kind of doing whatever is available, which isn't the route that we want to take the character. Definitely not a main character. I wouldn't want to take.
No.
Protagonist, maybe a side character, but
definitely.
No,
and I also wouldn't want to have her to be like extremely insecure. She doesn't really know what she wants to do, but that doesn't mean she's insecure of herself per se. Like, the things she does know, she knows.
Yes, no, definitely. But on the flip side to that, though, we didn't want her. So my kind of thing was, okay, a way to fix that would just be have her drink a bit, and then her like get drunk. But we didn't want her out to drink, like, because we needed a shift in the character in the end. So finding that kind of middle ground of like, okay, she's just not drinking on this night. She's just like, I don't need to get drunk tonight, rather than like, oh, I don't drink.
I think that was just a very small change we did in a scene beforehand, because her best friend Kira asked her like, oh, you're not drinking again? Why? And that's like, you're not drinking again? Why? Like, that forceful asking like, oh, you're not doing it again? That kind of stuff kind of hints at her not drinking for, like, that's just like the way she does. She goes about things. And changing that to just like, you're not drinking, and then her responding, not tonight. It's just that one line, or like one line changed.
Shifts the character, so it makes the friend not a mean friend. It makes it clear that Marie's not someone that just doesn't drink at all. But so it's just a choice decision for that evening. Which makes her character less weak, that she's like, okay, no, I am going to get drunk tonight. Rather than being like, I'm going to stop being sober and start drinking. But I think the conversation, obviously, to find that kind of perfect middle ground between our two extremes.
Yes.
Like, if you don't have that kind of super open, I guess, relationship with your writer,
with your editor,
everything, then you run the risk of, like, so if I said...
It's just because personal, I guess.
Yeah, no, but you could be like, Jonas, you're a f***ing idiot. So basically, we were recording, we're having a great chat, then we realized that the SD card was full.
Again.
And that we wasn't recording. We did this a couple of days ago. I do the editing and stuff and write the scripts. Jonas does all the stuff with the camera, so that's his fault. So we stopped. Luckily, we spotted in the first 2 minutes. We put on Jerry's section onto the computer and loaded the camera back up. Started recording. Did the whole scene. Then had a chat about our script. And then a little memory full. And so now it's just me. They're both in the naughty corner. And that trust and relationship that you should build up with your editor has been burned away. So from now on, this is the Airing It Out podcast with me.
I'm sorry.
And we're going to talk about action films, and that's it really. That's all I got. So yeah, that final fight in Star Wars Episode 3, we're going to do a 80-minute special. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll let you back.
Me?
Right. He's back.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
I was getting very lonely there.
Yeah.
Jerry's not very talkative when he's in the timeout.
No, he's
The
very
naughty
upset.
corner.
He's in more of a timeout than Jonas was because he really, he shouldn't have his paws on the camera.
No.
Um,
I should, but...
you should have, but you didn't.
Oh, no.
Very disappointing.
I honestly don't quite... Like, where were we? Talking about editing and trusting someone else's edits.
No, but
yeah.
I do think there is that you could take things personally and think they're criticizing my script, they're criticizing me.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing to do is just take a step back and go, okay, no, there is something to criticize.
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying might not be right, but it means there might be something wrong with what I've written.
You were saying also specifically in regards to actors, and I think that's very, very true, because also from a perspective of an actor, whenever I write something or when we go into auditions and something, I always make a point of telling someone that this isn't gospel, this isn't Shakespeare, as you said.
Yeah.
This is something that you can change, because I do trust my actors to, I don't know, be that character more so than I am while writing it. So if they find their way into that character and speak the lines as that character, if there are any changes, then they will probably be there for a reason.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if the line doesn't come out perfectly, I can always go back and, like, okay, maybe I see what you did there. Maybe we can work through that, but shut it down, and I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely, you need to make sure that the take you want is the take you get as well.
Yeah.
So
No, but
it's all good to
to
let
be
actors
resistant
have their-
to any kind of criticism is
You gotta watch,
not
yeah.
good. Not good.
And also in terms of like the editor's point of view, I could have gone in, or the script editor, and been like, oh, this is what I suggest, and just kind of gone, oh no, but I want to show, but I need to have that change, and I could have gone, all right, do your thing then.
Ah, yeah.
But then there's no point me being there if it's like what I say it goes or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, I could just go and write my own script,
Yeah.
or not be there to help at all. So it is finding that
No.
perfect middle ground. I think this is great bit though. So it's it was one of the, I want to say it's Hollywood Reporter, the
Yeah, the round table
discussions.
Yeah.
And it was a great one. So it was Ridley Scott and Tarantino.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that did The Revenant as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all talking about how hard it is to do films, and Ridley's like, I don't think it's that hard. I storyboard everything. I have the scripts written out. And like every single shot is planned. And he says, like, I think one of the directors, one of the younger directors on this table is like, but don't you let the actors have their say? Or what about the cameraman, the cinematographer is like, what about this shot?
Yeah.
And he says, sometimes if they're really pushing for it, I'll be like, okay, go have their fun, and then when they come back to me, after a couple hours and say, no, you're right, yours is better, then he does it. And I think that's hilarious and a great approach to have if you are Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
One of the best directors alive. I think for everyone else, maybe, especially in kind of our level of filmmaking, you're probably not the most experienced person on set in every area.
Not, yeah.
Whereas, I mean, he has worked in every single area of the film industry, so like he'll know.
Yeah. It's also like with like director and cinematographer and those kinds of like relationships, you definitely have to find a way. Like if you are a director that has such a clear vision, that you don't need a cinematographer that does a lot of work in terms of the creative process and like feeding into that, then that's good. If you have like two people that are like super creative and want to do their own thing, then that can result in some tension because everyone's pulling in a different direction and stuff. So you also definitely have to find a balance and communicate well in that regard. Yeah.
Well, even our film. So I mean, we talked about Black Sails a couple days ago. I really like that show's aesthetic. It's very in focus. It's very sharp. You see every pore, and I think that obviously it's set in the Caribbean, so you get the lighting, which really helps.
Harsh lighting, yeah.
But the whole, even like the interiors and stuff, are shot like that as well, and it's gorgeous, and that really does it for me.
Yeah.
But our film
is not going to be that at all.
But it's not. But we had the ability to. So like the camera and stuff and the lenses we have, we could have shot like that if we wanted to, but that wasn't the aesthetic that our cinematographer thought would work.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, well, that's not something, like, it's not the thing that I would want to watch. I was like, no, I trust our cinematographer and you to make the film pretty.
Be fine with it.
And it is, obviously, lots of shows have that aesthetic that
Yeah.
we have, but it's not my favourite one. That doesn't mean it's bad, and I think if you ruled with an iron fist at the top and went, that's not what I'd want to watch, necessarily, then you're never going to get anything except your perfect thing, which isn't actually what's best for the film. Like, our short film shouldn't be shot like Black Sails is shot.
I also feel like, just in terms of creative work, I'm always of the opinion that only through the exchange do you actually create something creative, like something original, because I can be here with my own thoughts and do whatever I want, but that's not going to do anything. It's only when someone feeds back on what I did, like when I get feedback and I can work through that and we try out different things because of our, I don't know, different opinions, different approaches, and that's when it gets really interesting. Yeah. I think that's also definitely what came out here, because I wrote the first version of the script and then you came in, and I think it even started off with just like what subjects these two characters are studying. So I did like one of them was philosophy, and you're like, I don't know if that's what they would see, because I don't know if it's a different field of study. They're studying, well, Marie's studying history and English. You would not get a line like, oh, you'll end up in a teacher in a shitty school if she was studying engineering or whatever. And so it's like it's very
there's subjects they choose, and also like we needed Kevin to do a vocational degree or something that wasn't quite like straight up, because if it's like, I'm studying dentistry, then she's like, oh, what do you want to do with dentistry? And it's like, well, dentist. Whereas like theatre is a little bit more okay, not everyone that does theatre wants to become an actor, so like there is that grey area.
But he's definitely also in the position of like, he will surely be asked that question a lot. Like, what are you doing with that degree? And for him to be very steadfast in, I want to become an actor, you know, I'm just gonna go for it, even though it's not very secure, I think is also a beautiful contrast to what Marie is like, because with history and English lit, like you still have degrees that are pretty solid, but for her to not know what to do with that is also quite telling.
Yeah, because it's a very open degree. So stuff like which subjects is definitely, we spent nearly a day talking about that and getting it perfect.
What I did want to say, we didn't quite mention that yet, is the fact that she does like that there is the switch, this big break from not drinking to drinking. Because we definitely, I mean, there are different approaches that we talk through, like that she might be drinking a little bit and then just going all out at the end, or I mean, whether she, like, why would she not drink and then drink? And I think for me, the way I argued it is that this is really an obvious break from her normal world before to she's now in a completely different scenario trying to figure stuff out, and to make that quite obvious to the audience as well, and like an obvious break in her mental process and mental state, for her to be like, right, I'm out, this has got to change, I'm obviously unhappy with what I'm doing, I don't know what I want, and so I'm just gonna go all out, full on, get drunk. She goes partying afterwards, which is a bit of a cliche, and I'm trying to not do that later on, but like it's definitely her first choice is going from one extreme to the other, which ends up being
I mean,
a
it is a sort of hyper socializing. Obviously these are characters not based on people we know, but definitely taking inspiration from lots of people you know at uni.
Surely,
and there's a lot of people that are very lonely that will go out every weekend and socialize at a party, but not actually be able to talk to anyone or anything. And we kind of show that, like, okay, she's in a crowded club, but is walking home alone. You know, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, she's with people, but they're not close friends, and it's how she loses the close friends by trying this new, super social kind of life.
Oh, that cut so deep.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and we kind of bring that back and how she recovers from it. No, it's good. Not that she recovers from it. Maybe she does.
Maybe she does.
You'll have to watch the film.
You'll have to watch the film. Give us like a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, given that it took us, we've not even got the first.
I don't even know. Like, to be honest, it is all kind of up in the air because I was supposed to be in Berlin right now, shooting a film.
I'm supposed to be doing gaming it out, playing through Vampire. Not doing that.
We're not getting any of that done.
Well, I decided not to because we can talk.
If you comment enough, like asking for Josh to do it, then
those videos that aren't even on our upload feed, but they are hidden in the playlist section.
Yeah. But like I don't know if we'll be able to shoot anything anytime soon. I don't know if I would want to, because as Jerry has made it, like he has made it very clear, like stay inside. Don't social distancing doesn't mean that you're staying at someone else's flat. Yeah. Stay in your flat.
And even if it's like, I'm just going to see one friend, so that's fine. If you do that every day, you've actually interacted with a lot of people. So if you pick up off the first friend and then spread it to... So yes, you're just seeing one person at a time. But this whole thing is, like, the more this spreads and the longer it lasts is just the longer this is going to be. So that's already, they're talking about delaying, years abroad and stuff. Yeah. Like, years. Which is insane. So definitely filming, like if we want to do a crowd scene, summer, maybe, like it's looking like that might not actually be possible.
Well, we'll have to rethink filmmaking overall. I think I should write the script and like in like a post-apocalyptic.
I know the amount of post-apocalyptic indie films that are about to come out in the next year is going to be...
I mean, everything is going to be CG or like The Mandalorian. One person in
buy a giant TV.
It's just gonna be one actor in a giant animated spaceship.
Did you see the Alien indie films that came out?
No.
It was about a year ago. So they're on YouTube. But they did lots of indie Alien films on super low budgets. They're incredible. Like, they're really scary.
Really?
Yeah. I'll link a couple below. They're worth watching though. But they're essentially like small crews on a ship. Kind of dealing with it, but it's like taking the first Alien film and kind of condensing it with more unique scenarios and stuff.
Interesting.
But yeah, they're done really well, considering that they're all
that's good
all those things. But no, it does annoy me that the same people that are going outside, just to get political for a second, you can brush this over as Josh's political views, but whether or not you like the current government in power, they've said very clearly, don't go outside. And it's the same people that are going outside that are going to complain about the Tory government when they eventually lock everyone inside. So
I mean, you get people like that everywhere. It's also in Germany. It was like when they announced that they will have like curfews or closed bars and everything, there was a guy in that press conference asking like, what about like if people take their kids to playgrounds? And you're like, well, we're making laws for that to be just like for that not to happen. So if you want to do that, then you're going against the law. Like, what kind of question is that? It's like, oh, but what if I want to shoot someone in the face? No, don't.
Like, yes, it's illegal. But that was yesterday was the busiest day ever in Snowdonia, which is the Welsh mountain range. And you might think, oh, it's a mountain range, so you're fine. But if you see the photos, the car park is overflowing. There's cars parked along like the arrows on the side for miles, and there's just crowds of people everywhere because it's sunny, and you're just sitting there
because it's sunny.
Guys, just open your window, stick your head out for half an hour, get your little face tan on, and move on with life.
Yeah, like, it's not too bad if you don't ski this season.
No, we're meant to be skiing next week, but that's cancelled. But it's like, okay, cool, you get your refund, you get your money back. Hopefully you get a bit of money from the government if you've got a proper job, which is nice. If not,
well, there will be solutions. Like,
but it's definitely hard. Like, I don't know. I don't think the world, people are just stupid. But Jerry covered that, and that's why he's in the naughty corner.
True. So you can timestamp over this.
Yeah,
if you don't want to hear it a second time.
Well, I don't know. People are just...
I think it needs to be said.
Definitely needs to be said. But
I think this could definitely be a prompt for like another short film script. I don't know. I think there's a lot to be learned from this situation, just in terms of like social behavior, how you have a sense of responsibility for other people in your society, especially like with us and our age. And I think that's also what people take from like the spring breakers and stuff still going is just like the sense of, oh, I'm not going to be affected, or like I'm going to be fine even if I get it, but not realizing that even though you might be fine, someone else isn't. And there's hundreds, thousands of people that are highly at risk.
Even
and
the two people
even
beneath us in the flats are both very elderly.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so if we were just like, don't care, went out, caught it, 'cause I mean, a few people we know have fallen ill suspiciously.
Yeah.
So then if we passed it on to them by like
just
touching all the
door
handles and stuff, because obviously they need to go out or interact with carers that will go in and touch the door handles. I mean, it's a good chance to buy up the block of flats, but
wow,
you know, it does just show, okay, you've got to think about the people, not just your family that you're not seeing, but like everyone that lives around you is at risk. But that's okay. But it is a good script idea to focus on how people just don't care about anyone but themselves and the direct circle of people around them.
Could be.
But
anyway, what would we be? Get the juices flowing.
No, well, we've got to finish this first.
That's true. We got to finish this first.
Yeah.
I know one of the big criticisms I've heard from a friend who has read this already was that she doesn't have a want.
Yes.
So like when it comes to screenwriting, or like storytelling, I guess overall is to give a character a want and a need. So the want is something that's usually quite superficial, like I don't know, say it's a money heist. I want to rob this bank. In order to, whatever it is, in order to support my child going to university. I need the money. The need is something that is usually something emotional, rooted deeper within, and it's obviously usually a realization towards the end. If the want is fulfilled, so they've got the money, but they then realize the money's actually not what's important. My relationship to my kid is way more important. So the fact that she they go to university is actually not what matters to me most. But the fact that they're doing all right. So the whole money heist thing, fulfilling my want isn't the most important thing, but fulfilling my need. And so this criticism was like, she doesn't really have a want, and that is totally fair, because the whole point is that she doesn't know what she wants.
Her want is that she wants a want.
And that's also something that I would have to work through, or like maybe we can work through it together, is to what extent we want to keep that. Or will we change it? Like, will we give her at some point like an actual want? Like, does she decide very clearly to just go with one thing and do that, even though she might not feel like it's the right thing, but just so she has something to go for?
Well, that's again, like, so when that criticism came through, I disagreed with it, and I was like, no, I think the whole point of it is that she doesn't want anything, and that's kind of her loss. But it does mean that the film might seem a little bit aimless. So just because one person disagrees with it and one person does make the criticism, doesn't mean you should just go, okay, cool, it's fine, I don't need to worry about it. And again, that extends throughout the whole thing. So when we were editing our film, so our assistant director came back and said, oh, I think you should change this scene round. And even though we were both like, I kind of prefer it the way it was, we still made the change in a different version. Looked at it, looked how it was when it was actually in, and then made our decision. Rather than just being like, oh, I don't think that would look good, chucked it away.
No, especially like, obviously we have the chance to play around, so like edit it and then still go back to the previous version. So there's no real excuse not to try things, unless like you are on a time limit. Like I do understand why, like, if we had a deadline of we need to get this film done by that date, which is good, and we definitely have set ourselves like a deadline for May.
Which hopefully will be done now because everyone's inside, so we can actually get our stuff done.
Yeah, no, but if you have infinite amount of time, then might as well try things until and
but
then
also
make your decision.
learn when to stop. Like,
Yes.
there is a point where you're like, okay, we've gone over the montage section over 10 times now to make it perfect. Yes, you could shave off a second or extend a clip here or there, but you could tinker with it forever. But sometimes you just have to, okay, save project.
Yeah.
You know, render it. It's done.
I mean, same thing with the script. Again, as I said, like, we could toy around with the lines forever, but it would still be changed while shooting, because then an actor would come in and say it differently, which is fine.
Which is fine.
It's totally fine. I've only spent hours writing it. No. No, but like, that's why it's at some point I'm also just like, I know this is an American mannerism, and I know they're gonna say differently because we're shooting in Scotland.
One thing for you is you're right, very American.
So I know it's not gonna be said that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to change it, and if I would try and change it, it would probably sound worse. So I'm just gonna say, like, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and the
Now
meanings and
say
stuff is always clear. So like, that's why it's good to have someone, like, especially if you're not writing for the country that you're in.
Yeah.
So like, a greeting in Scotland, you'd be like, oh, you're right. Whereas that's just not how Americans would write it, and obviously German, American, English, whatever.
I was struggling in this script, like, her mom. I was like, I don't know what her mom calls her. Like, does she just say Marie? Does she say, like, sweetie, honey?
I mean, my mom's got some horrific nicknames for me.
Yeah, so I was also like, I'm not sure. If you have good names that your parents call you, also comment them below. They might end up in the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can get a credit.
You could.
Script doctor.
Yeah.
One word.
Maybe. We will then be in touch with a contract, if that does happen.
Of course. Speaking of my mother, though.
Yes. Ooh. Okay.
Don't get excited.
Okay.
She did ask she asked a question on one of our social media feeds. It might actually have been on YouTube in a comment. That we talk about the funniest interviews that we've had.
Interviews?
Yes.
Okay.
For a job, and I think I think she's got one in mind that I had.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any funny interviews in your head that you've ever had, or auditions, I guess.
I guess, yeah. I've never had a job interview.
He's never had a job.
I've never had a job interview. Unless you count auditions. I've had auditions.
Have you had any auditions that have gone funnily?
Funnily. Oh, wow. That's difficult because there are so many different things that I've had to do for an audition already.
On the casting couch.
I don't know. Definitely the things that I had to do for Vicky were quite funny. Like, one of the last auditions was one where I had to put on the wig already, and I was cast with the main antagonist, the bad guy of the film, and so acting with him was already quite funny because he's this really intense guy who was like shouting all the time, and I had to be scared and all that, and that was quite fun. I think one of the weirder auditions. Bless you.
Thanks.
Oh, that was a cough. That wasn't sneezing. Yeah. No, but one of the weirder auditions was for a film called Die Sechs Schwäne, so the Six Swans, and the audition took place in a gym, and so like one of the things, it was just an improv of just go run around, do crazy stuff with like the gym equipment that's here, you know, you can like climb around and jump over things, and it was just like go wild. I guess that's what they wanted to see.
How old were you when you did the audition for that?
11, 12.
Okay, so it's a lot younger than you'd be. So you'd be too young to actually go to the gym.
Yeah.
That was probably quite a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like a gym. It was like gymnastics.
Oh yeah. Well, you did gymnastics.
I did gymnastics.
So you can do the flips.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I did. That would be a bit overkill.
Did you get the job?
Yes, I did.
Maybe did a flip. Oh man. Well, I think mine, the one that is in reference to, is definitely I applied for a job at a hotel. And they were one of those disgusting group interviews, which if you've never had, try and avoid them. They're horrible. So they interview like, it can be 5, 10 to like 50 people at once. So it was this huge hall where they explained like the different job positions and stuff. Then they took you for a one-on-one. And of course, because there's so many of us, you eventually figure out what the questions are going to be. Because people come back and say, all right, they ask this. And then if enough people say that, you're like, okay, they've got the same free question, ask everyone. And
Fair.
I think it's one of the worst interview questions ever is, if you were an animal, what would you be? Like, fine.
What do they take from that? Do they like have a horoscope where like, he said
it's
a hedgehog?
Fine. And the thing is, well, they didn't even have any like proper questions either.
Uh-huh.
Like it was that, and it was like maybe 1 or 2 others that were both a bit generic as well. Like, what's the situation where you've had a difficulty? And you're like, okay, great.
Yeah, obviously they want to know.
But I thought I'd be clever, so I'd think about it, think something unique. So I was thinking I'm going to go for a dolphin. Because I do my windsurfing. So I was like, right, dolphins play in the waves, you know, they're free and
very intelligent.
Huge ocean, hyper intelligent, very social, very friendly. So there's a lot I can say about dolphins.
And about myself.
Yeah. But I was like, that's clever, and it links in, because a lot of my CV is based on like windsurf instruction and stuff. So it ties in. It's not just like, oh, I'm a lion because I'm proud, and they all look at you like,
Gryffindor.
Great, you know, you got your yellow and red scarf on. So I sat down and they asked the question, and I was like, I'm ready for this. And my mind had a complete wipe, and I was like, And I could picture the animal doing it, but I just couldn't get the word dolphin out. So I said seal. And of course, the image they had, if you've never been to Scotland, the seals here aren't the nice ones that swim right in the Arctic. They're these big, fat, lazy creatures that sit on like buoys in the sea and just lie there like all day. That's all they do. It's basically Jerry. That's what seals are. And the 3 of them that were interviewing me all just kind of looked at me like, what? Why? And so they're like, okay, any particular reason? And I realized what I'd done, and I was sitting there like, no. So I was like, so I gave all the reasons for a dolphin. So I was like, they're hyper intelligent, super social, they're free in the waves, and you know they're all kind of like, right. Like they were not convinced at all. But alas,
did you get the job?
I did. They didn't actually tell me that I got it though. So I got a call about a month later asking if I was free for some extra shifts. And I was like, extra shifts? And they're like, yeah, they'll appear on your shift timetable. And I was like, I don't have a shift timetable. And they're like, it's on your email address. You just click on the thing. And they never emailed me. But I had the job. But they said they'd resend the email, and they never did. And then we moved flat, and I was miles away from it. And I was like, I don't really care. But I maintained that I got that job pretending to be a big fat seal.
A hyper-intelligent, social, playful seal.
Yeah. Which was definitely a good laugh, and I remember coming out of it, and the people I kind of met in the interview were like, how'd it go? And I was like, I don't know what happened.
What is that thing called that goes like?
Yeah.
I can't make the noise.
The face they gave me though, definitely, I feel like I said cockroach or something, because they were just like, why?
Cockroach. Yeah, I excel at being like super annoying.
I can fly, and people don't expect that when I fly in their face.
That's actually good. If you're like, okay, cockroach, you might think that that's just a nasty animal. But
nothing can harm me.
Actually, it can fly. So like, every once in a while, you will be surprised by my talent.
Yeah, when I'm serving drinks in like a hotel event, and I'm just like,
ooh, I'm gonna be in places you've never imagined of me.
Oh man, I've had some good other job interviews. I definitely had one that I applied for that I was not meant to go to, so I'll not name the company, but it was one of those companies that have different places elsewhere.
Yeah. And
there was one place I wanted to work, and that was it. And I was qualified for it, but their policy was you had to work in one of the other places first.
Oh.
So they phoned up So I handed my CV and I did like the online interview and that all passed, and I phoned up and they said, oh, we would like to offer you a bit in one of the other things, and I said, I'm not interested, I'd only work in that one. No, okay, so we don't do that, very sorry. I was like, okay, cool, fine, whatever, I'll find another job. No worries. And about 2 days later they phoned up and they were like, yeah, so how about that place that you wanted? You want it?
Wow.
And I was like, yes.
Okay.
So I got that job. But definitely
Impressive.
calling their bluff. Because if you know you're qualified for something,
Mm-hmm.
sadly the acting world doesn't work like that because it's hyper competitive.
No, but you can also bluff. Like what I just immediately thought of was something like who was it? Scottish actor in... Oh no, this is bad.
Gonna get that cricket sound
in Split, what's his name?
James McAvoy.
Yes, James McAvoy. Wow, this is bad. I'm bad with names. No, but him going into an audition and like totally feeling out of place and then pretending to have like a family emergency just to get out of the audition.
Oh no.
I think that's brilliant that you go into an audition, act your way out of the audition, but without giving the impression that you did a terrible job at preparing for it or anything.
Yeah.
I think that's smart, because then he definitely doesn't have the reputation of like having had a bad audition, but just like he just couldn't do it.
Okay, I'm busy, sorry.
And that's smart. I don't know, I think one of the more fun auditions I've also had wasn't actually where I was getting auditioned, but someone else. It was for the second Vicky movie, so my part was secure.
You had it.
But we were auditioning the other lead character, the female lead, I guess. And the director wanted us to play this improv game of her always saying please and me saying no until the point where like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nothing. Keep going.
Where is
my
mine
mind
going?
elsewhere.
No, but like it was because she would have to have some kind of like power to get her way. So is it willpower or is it cunningness or whatever? And I guess the director just wanted to see that in the people auditioning. And a lot of the girls straight up went for like forceful.
No,
I would say no. They would say please, but trying to say like please, like try and get me to do what they want. And that was
one girl that flirted with you, like please, and you were like, no.
Yeah. So as soon as I started laughing, that was also me having given up or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I see.
So if they actually managed to make me laugh, then they'd have won. But I feel like it was so much easier for me to say no to someone shouting at me because I was just like no.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be that way, then no. I think that was cool.
What did the one that got the part do?
Also that. So it was quite interesting to always have that process of like forceful and then that's not working.
Yeah.
And then
it's the one that tickled you and made you laugh.
No, there was no touching.
Oh. I see. Speaking of no touching, you should touch the like button. Yeah. I think we're going to call it a day here because this video is going to be a hideous amount of work for me because someone messed up and someone had to go at the camera. So that's fine.
No, that's a good amount of time.
No. Yeah, thank you for watching it. I hope you enjoyed our ramblings as per and maybe learned some tips about not just writing scripts, but the workplace in general.
Yeah.
Not even within the film industry.
Yeah.
Stay inside. Don't socialize.
Well, over Zoom or what was it? House party.
Cast is another good one. You can watch films together.
With a K.
With a K.
Yeah.
It used to be called Rabbit, but it got changed. It's good fun.
It's good fun.
But yeah.
Anyways.
There would be our recommendations. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share it and click the bell icon and
all the good stuff.
Comment.
Yeah, I guess comment. Also, if you have any...
Yeah, the comments always make Jerry laugh because he does the comments.
Yeah.
Not me.
Do it for Jerry.
But no, I do really enjoy reading them and responding to them. So yeah, thanks for checking us out.
Awesome.
Tomorrow... Actually, no, let's not reveal.
No.
I do have a plan for a good one though. But you'll have to wait and see.
You'll have to wait and watch.
Dun dun dun.
Anyways.
Bye.